If you're a minority borrower, let's say you're a black borrower, Mexican or Asian, the decline rate is like more high.
So this is based right off the government data. For every 2 black borrowers are declined, 1 should have been approved. And for Hispanics, it's something like every 2.25 Hispanic borrowers are declined, 1 should have been approved.
Like racial profiling.
It's not just about race, because for white borrowers, for every 4 that were declined, 1 should have been approved. Right. So it's really about culture.
All right, guys, we got the creator of Angel AI and the president of SunWest Mortgage here today, Pavan Agarwal. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, Sean.
Of course. And we got Oak Su on, co-hosting today.
What's up, guys?
It's been a while since I've had a co-host.
I know, that's awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thanks
What's
for
up,
bringing Pavan too.
What's up, Oak?
Doing great, man. Doing great. How are you?
I'm awesome. And I love the new Oak. Like, I've known Oak for years, and he's become so spiritual. He's in shape, and it's just like you could feel his energy coming out of him all the time now.
Yeah, you've had a bit of a spiritual transformation.
Oh man, it's been a trip, brother.
Yeah. And I know you're big on spirituality too.
Yes, I mean, being Indian, raised in a Hindu household, it's from the day we're born we're taught spirituality.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow. So what were some things you were doing growing up?
Well, we have a ritual. Like my parents, like every morning we had to do meditation prayers. The Hindi word is puja, and we just like did that my whole life. And I gotten sloppy now, I've gotten older.
Yeah.
And I was always an excuse. Now there's always an excuse why I don't do it. But I need to do it. When I'm doing it, okay, the advantage of doing meditation every day is that your mind goes into another plane and it stays there the whole day. And when you're in that other plane, you see everything. Like if I'm in the other plane, I don't just see this mic in front of me or see you guys in front of me. I see all of Las Vegas. I mean, I see all of America, and I can see just everything sort of falling in place, and I know what to do, and I just follow the instinct.
Yeah, it's good to have some sort of spiritual practice, I think, and a lot of successful people step away from it.
Yeah,
they go all in on money, right?
Yeah, speaking of money, I heard that you had an $80 million margin call.
Yes, that was they made a movie about this called The Big Short. Right. So being in the financial services industry, we were deep into mortgages and that whole stuff that happened back in 2008.
Yeah.
Now, the good news is the philosophy of doing option arms and that kind of stuff, the products that created the problem, it was so against my dad's philosophy because he always believed in doing the right thing for the customer. And those kind of products are bad. But when the market collapsed, the good loans that we're doing, the government loans, that were backed by Freddie and Fannie and HUD, those, even though they're good solid loans, they dropped in value. Okay, so we got an $80 million margin call from Deutsche Bank in like one day.
Jeez.
And all we had was less than $10 million of cash in the bank, and we had personal guarantee. So in a moment, we could have lost everything, the whole life's work.
Wow.
40 years of work, and saving and putting together could have been gone in one moment.
And you were able to save that deal. So they gave you no heads up about the margin call, because
the market moved overnight.
Yeah.
Right. We had loans ready to sell that were yesterday valued at 5% over to 30-40% under.
Wow.
Right. And it just happened like that. And we got the margin call, and it was literally my spiritual practice that got me through it.
Really?
Yeah. So, it was just a moment of clarity. I had thankfully had some relationships at UBS, another banking firm. And I call them up, went there, honestly told them what the situation was. And they took the trade, they took me out, on my word. And which was really, incredible, right? I mean, this is $100+ million.
On your word.
On my word.
Wow.
Right. Because there was no time, right? It had to happen on the moment. So there's $150 million of collateral needing to move, and they wired the money without any contracts.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Sean, but $100 million, we gotta, right?
Yeah. I think I could get maybe $1 million on my word.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother level.
Yeah. And the thing is, actually, I can't take the credit for it. It's not really my word. It's my dad's word. Right. And I was really, I was riding those coattails because he had been working with UBS since it was Payne Weber, and that reputation followed through, right? And I had taken over the relationship managing that account for years. And so it continued, and then the trust continued. So ultimately, there's a lesson to take away here for everybody: is there's nothing more valuable in your life than your word and your reputation, right? Because once you break it, you can never get it back. That's the one thing you can never fix.
Wow.
Right?
So you don't deal with any liars.
I hate lying. We have a saying in my company that lying is an act of violence.
Wow.
Right.
Damn.
I like that.
Right.
Lying is an act of violence.
Lying is an act of violence, especially in financial services. When you're dealing with other people's money, and if I lie for my own profit, that means somebody else, I've just stolen money from somebody else.
Wow.
Right? So what's the difference of holding a gun at a bank teller and taking some money, or lying and taking some money? What's the difference? Right? That's why lying is an act of violence.
Wow. That makes sense. So from the real estate stuff, you got into AI after that?
Well, no, actually, I got into mathematics, AI, and computer programming since I was like 11 years old, 12 years old.
Prodigy.
Prodigy. You're making me blush now. if I wasn't so dark, you'd see my face turn red. No, actually, so like, we're typical immigrant story, right? I mean, came to this country literally $100. So that's all the government in India would let you take out back then, right? So my dad has $100, and so we're dirt poor living in a 1-bedroom apartment in LA. And you can imagine how that's like.
Yeah.
So grew up selling. My mom was working at an electronics factory, and then come home, sell Avon, and I used to go with her to sell Avon. And I got a funny story about that because when you sell Avon, you have those Avon bags.
Yeah.
All right, so we can't afford to spend money on anything, right? So when I'd go to school, my lunch would be packed in an Avon bag.
Really?
So all the kids would make fun of me because there comes Avon lady. So, I didn't care, so what? It's just words.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, went from there and then going door to door, selling Avon, going door to door, farming. It's like they both got their real estate license and were farming and knocking on doors, right? And then buying houses and cleaning houses. And then we started the mortgage company. My father started the mortgage company in 1980. And right after he started the mortgage company, the government passed this regulation called the Truth in Lending, where you have to disclose what's called an APR, a cost disclosure to the borrower. All right. And that's where he came to me and he said, you know what? I'm tired of paying all this money. You figure out this formula. And the formula is basically a 360-degree polynomial. And I'm going into words that are kind of funny, but the point is that this is the same kind of math that goes into artificial intelligence. There's a long-winded answer to your question. So I'm 12 years old and he says, go figure this out. You can do it, right? So I didn't know any better. I mean, I didn't know that PhDs in mathematics couldn't figure this one out. So I figured it out.
Wow, at 12.
Yeah, and we wrote, and I wrote the software in Microsoft Basic on a PC, and we were generating these truth in lending disclosures.
As a 12-year-old?
As a 12-year-old, yeah.
Crazy.
I was sitting there playing in cardboard boxes, bro.
I was playing video games. Yeah. That's what I was doing at 12.
Yeah, tech
Yeah,
bubble.
so I'm like blessed. Right? God blessed me to have be able to understand math and numbers, and blessed me to be involved in real estate. So I got the best of both worlds. I learned both disciplines, and so by knowing both of them, my dad always used to tell me, he's like, hey, go, you figure that one out, and I automate the whole thing. He says, make the whole mortgage process, the whole real estate process simple and easy so we can help more people. Right? Because there's so many rules and complexities to it, but it's all paperwork. And who likes doing paperwork? You like
I
doing
hate paperwork, man.
Hell no.
Yeah.
So you were telling me earlier, which is interesting when I was talking to Sean, that if you're a minority borrower, let's say you're a black borrower, Mexican, or Asian, the decline rate is like more high. So what is the decline rate for, like, let's say a black person?
Yeah, so this is based right off the government data, like real data. And there's an analysis out there where for let's say a black borrower, right? For every 2 black borrowers that are declined, 1 should have been approved.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Yeah. And for Hispanics, it's something like every 2.25 Hispanic borrowers that are declined, 1 should have been approved.
Wow.
It's like racial profiling.
Yeah.
What about us Asians?
It's like for every 2.75 or something like that, 1 should have been approved.
Damn.
Oh, right. We have the 7.5, bro.
But, but you know what? It's not just about race, because for white borrowers, for every 4 that were declined, 1 should have been approved. Right. So it's really about culture. Right. The way financial services are written is designed for people who fit the mold, who fit the vanilla culture mold. Right? And if you manage if you grew up in that culture and you understand certain things, right? Just like I grew up doing, prayers in the morning and learning about spiritualism, spiritual life and so forth. If you grew up in a family that has this culture of finance and you learn it automatically, then you fit the mold. It doesn't necessarily make you a more qualified borrower. It's just that you fit the mold to which the guidelines are written to.
Wow.
Right. And so when you look at the racial disparity, you'll see that certain races fit the mold better than other races. Right. But it doesn't mean they shouldn't be getting the credit.
Right.
Okay. And it all boils down to because everyone hates paperwork.
Yeah.
Right. Are you culturally more adept to doing paperwork or less adept? Okay. So that's why I built this AI using all this mathematics that I learned, as you say, as a prodigy.
Yeah.
Make me blush again. So all this mathematics is said, let's build the AI so that you don't have to do the paperwork. Let the AI do everything. And you just tell it what you know, and let it do all the paperwork and figure out everything, and then give you the approval. So when we let the AI do it, okay, and it connects the dots and figures it out, then for those two say black borrowers that were declined, when they go through the AI, one of them actually gets approved.
Wow.
So we were able to drop those decline rates so that black borrowers get the same decline rates as white borrowers, and white borrowers get the same as Asian, and so forth.
Incredible. So you solved a massive problem, and that's what Angel AI does?
That's exactly what Angel AI does. But it does a lot more than just approve you for a loan. So in the next quarter, we're rolling out credit repair. Again, it goes back to what the elites call financial literacy.
Wow.
Right.
So you're doing credit repair. How much does that cost someone to get a credit repair?
Well, that's the beauty of Angel AI. Everything is free.
People pay like $5K for that right now.
Yeah, it's at least.
Yeah.
Right? Because you end up paying $200 to $300 an account they're trying to fix. Right. So the elites call financial literacy because they want to blame you. They're trying to say it's your problem when it's really their problem because they set up a system that's so complex.
All right.
Okay. So you know what? I'm not gonna go fight the elites. Right. What I'm gonna do is give you a tool. I want to help everyone, and it speaks to, the spiritual lessons that I've learned is if I start by helping you, if I start by giving you solutions, right, and God will find a way to give me money along the way. Right, it'll happen. I don't have to worry about how I make money. I don't worry about it. Let me just help you. Right, let me help people who don't understand how the system works because it's so complicated. Let me just build an AI. So you just tell it what your situation is, let it take care of the rest. So we're rolling out this quarter. It'll fix your credit for you for free.
Wow.
Right. And before next tax season, everyone just finished filing their taxes. And we were talking about that before the show, right? Is before next tax season, it will prepare your tax returns for you for free.
Dang.
Right.
I'd pay a lot for that too.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, because
the hit of Angel AI, bro.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, because it was designed for the most difficult, complicated financial product that exists in the universe, which is a mortgage. Right. So it knows how to read your tax returns. It knows how to read your pay stubs, your W-2s, everything. It knows how to read all your financial documents and keeps them straight. So having it generate the tax returns, piece of cake.
Right. So let's say people watching this want to qualify for a $500,000 mortgage. What credit score would they need?
Well, because here's what people don't understand. You don't need an 800 credit score to do that. All right. The government guidelines let you go all the way down to 500 credit score.
Wow.
Yeah. So most people don't understand that. Most people think you need to have a lot of money in the bank. You don't. Right. If you're a veteran, you don't need any money. Right. And if you go with an FHA loan, you only need 3.5%, which is about $16,000-$17,000 on a $500,000
house. Yeah, that's
right?
nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So all you do is you go to askangel.ai and start telling her everything about yourself. And you just talk to her like you talk to a real person. And now the big advantage of talking to an AI as opposed to talking to some loan officer you find on social media, right? I mean, would you find a lot of people this is how they shop for a house or a mortgage, right? And a $500,000 house, and whoever you find on social media, you're going to do that transaction with, you're going to trust them with $500,000 that you're locked in for 30 years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't even marry some, you wouldn't even get into a relationship with somebody that you just found on social media, yet you're willing to make a 30-year commitment with people you find on social media. I think about how messed up the market is.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And they make a commission too.
And that's the biggest problem, is that the person you find on social media is going to say and do anything to make that commission from you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whereas the AI doesn't care about making the commission. It's just trying to help you. It's going to give you real answers. It's not, it's just a computer's not working for commission. Right. And because it's all computerized, ultra low cost, so you're going to get a great deal from it.
So as a minority, I'm getting premium pricing. It's easy, and I don't have anyone judging me because I forgot to, pay a credit card bill 10 years ago or whatever it was.
Yes.
Yeah. Late payment.
Exactly.
I had a late payment on my Hyundai Elantra. And my score dropped like 150 points for a $200 payment.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point about minorities being judged by the loan officer, because that's an old loan officer trick.
Yeah.
Right. Because what they'll tell you is like, especially for minorities, it's like, oh, I don't know if I can get this approved with the bank. Might have to charge you another $500 or something like that. I mean, this is an old loan officer trick.
They get more commissions and stuff.
They get more commission.
I had a loan officer guy that, he was probably as smart as a rock. And the guy was driving a Ferrari because he made so many commissions selling these loans. And he didn't even know anything about the process. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing.
That's crazy. And the loan's interest rate too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're working with a loan officer who's posting flashy stuff on social media with a Ferrari, this and that, it's run away.
Yeah, red flag. I'd rather use AI because there's no emotional involvement or human greed.
Exactly.
It's going to be logical.
Exactly.
Yeah, like you get toilet paper from Amazon. You don't need an opinion.
Right. Yeah, AI is just going to do whatever looks best number-wise, right?
The AI is going to do whatever's best for you.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take your information, you give it in any order. It could be completely disorganized, right? And that's how most people have their paperwork. It's in a drawer someplace. You just grab it all, drop it in, it'll figure it out, and then it'll compare it against all the different products. It's got like almost every mortgage product out there. It'll figure it out, and it'll tell you, okay, here are your options, right? And it's not incentivized by commission. It doesn't own a Ferrari.
Yeah. How do people qualify for Angel AI? Do they have to be a U.S. customer?
Yes, Angel AI. So you got to ask Angel.ai. It's only accessible from U.S. territory at this moment.
Oh, wow.
And do they need a certain, is it a pricing tier? How does it work for
No, it's just completely free.
Really?
I mean, you have to be 18 or over.
So how does Angel AI make money then?
Well, it makes money. Number one, it starts by helping you. Number two, if you continue forward with Angel AI, then and you say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and give me the financing. Then my financing company will give you that loan, and it makes money by providing that service. But anyone can use Angel AI and do it end to end, okay, completely for free, and have it organize your paperwork and figure everything out for you. Even do the credit repair, even use it to prepare your tax returns for your 2025 tax filings. Many more services we're rolling out this year. Like it can give you credit card approval. It can give you online banking, student loans. A whole bunch of stuff are coming out. Wow. But the point is, it'll do all that for free. And if you say, you know what, I'm going to go and do financing with somebody else, that's fine. God bless you.
Dang, you're saving people tens of thousands.
And time.
Time and frustration. And the biggest thing, my customers, and we've done over 200,000 transactions through Angel AI.
Wow.
So this isn't a new product. Right. There's a lot of companies coming out these days that are saying, I'm an AI first company.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? AI has been around for a while.
Yeah.
Like you said, you were doing it at 12.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the first version of Angel AI came out in 2018. Right? And then we put a warranty on it that a year later, because it was so good, we put a warranty on it saying that if Angel AI says something that's incorrect, right, I'll write the check. That means if Angel AI said, Sean, you're approved for $500,000, but it messed up and did the calculation wrong, and maybe you're only approved for $300,000.
Yeah.
Okay. I would fund that loan at $500,000 and hold on to it because now I got a loan that no one, is not eligible for.
Yeah. Has that happened to you before where it messed up?
It's messed up 4 times since 2019.
Wow. It's only once a year.
That's pretty impressive.
Well, actually, it's less than once a year because that was really the first 18 months of that warranty coming out.
Oh, okay.
It hasn't messed up after that.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. What a policy to have.
Yeah.
That's confidence right there.
So Pavan, you're a multi-millionaire, and he's super humble, right? You can just tell. For those that are inspiring, like what are 3 tips or 3 unlocks to be that multi-millionaire?
That's a really good question. And the most important thing, and I actually put this message on my Facebook yesterday, is when you think differently. Okay, when you think out of the box and you have new and fresh ideas, and everyone's going to say you're crazy, right? And when I was growing up, like what I wanted to do with automation and build the AI and so forth, I mean, it's just been like I started literally building it in the 80s and got it into production in 2018. Think about how long that is, right? And so you got to just stick with it. And the only person who believed that I could do it was my father. Even my mom didn't believe. She's like, you're wasting. She's like, you're wasting your time. Like, why are you spending so much time in front of the computer?
Yeah.
Right. Like you gotta do something else. I'm like, no, I know this is going to work. Right. So, for 30 plus years, kept chopping away at it.
Yeah.
And kept trying to make the algorithms work and so forth. Right. And in that process, we've generated almost 60 plus patents.
Wow.
And we built our own AI. It's like a novel AI model that it's not ChatGPT or anything else. I mean, it's truly novel. And that's why we're able to have an AI that for finance, it can give an answer that's 100% right.
That's awesome. So believe in yourself, and then
right. And stick with it.
Through the time, stick with it. And what are the two other things?
Well, write down. I wouldn't even say believe in yourself. It's know yourself. And that's a lesson that took me a long time to learn and understand, because when you don't know yourself, you're going to get swayed. Like instead of 30 years, I could have had this done in 10 years.
Wow.
Okay. But I went off the path so many times because I didn't take the time to write down what it is about myself. Who am I? And what are my goals? And why did God put me on the earth? Right. There's a reason God put me on the earth. I mean, the poverty I came from as a child, to get to this point, this isn't my work. This isn't my father's work. This is God's work. Right? I mean, it's like, how many people are blessed like this, right? And how many, it isn't, this was a blessing because I'm supposed to do something with it.
Yeah.
Right. And so I got to write that down. What is it that I'm supposed to do? Again, if you stop, meditate, think calmly, but then don't let your ego, don't let your pride get in the way. Write that down. Okay. And then once you write that down and you stick with it, and then you'll never get off the path, and whatever your destination is, you'll get there, 10 times faster.
Purpose, right?
Yes.
Purpose.
That's major. Aligning with your purpose. Takes people lifetimes to figure out.
Took me 45 years and I'm still learning.
Took me 26. And that's early, I feel like, for most people.
Yeah.
Yeah, this podcast is definitely my purpose.
Yeah, this sure is.
But some people never find theirs too.
Right.
I've seen people on their deathbed like die with regrets.
So sad.
Super sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad you found it, man.
Yeah, hey, I have regrets. There's things there are mistakes that I've made. I'm sure there's mistakes everyone's made in life. There are, regrets. You can't undo time. You can't go backwards. So the only thing you can do is like say, okay, you know what? The mistakes I made, if you've hurt anybody along the way, I know I'm going to have to write that check. The check's going to come due one day. I'm going to have to pay it back.
Karma's a
Yeah.
You get interest, right?
Yeah, you got to pay it back with interest.
And that goes back to how we started with your
right.
father. He only put out good energy, did good deals, and that's how you guys were able to save the company too.
So the one thing interesting about my father, which the lesson till the day he died, he tried to teach me this, which is he says, when something goes wrong, when you think someone's hurt you, right? Like maybe someone took some money from you or whatever, didn't honor a deal. He's like, show them more love. Right? Because it isn't that person that's taking from you. It's God that's taking from you. God's trying to teach you something.
Wow.
And that person is just the hand of God. So you need to love him more.
Wow.
That takes a lot of mental strength,
and,
I think.
And
I talked about that yesterday.
and he didn't just talk the talk. He walked it. I mean, I saw him do that every single day.
Yeah.
And I saw people be so mean and nasty to him, but he just embraced them with love. And then I didn't understand it growing up, and I thought, you're just letting them use you,
Right.
But now I looked back and it especially hit me after he passed away. Like, you were right.
Wow.
Sorry, it gives me a little misty thinking about my dad.
rest in
No,
peace.
that's deep because it's when you get wronged, it's easy to react emotionally and like be angry and
but
sad.
It's not that person wronging you. It's nobody wronging you. It's karma coming back to you. It's God saying, hey, you got to teach, right? You got to learn something.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah, and it's hard, man, because there's some people out there you're just like, right?
Introspective though, yeah, because you get scammed, you feel like you're the victim, but maybe it's
Yeah.
karma.
God teaching you, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That's deep, man.
I don't know how to segue
let's
off that,
let's
man.
change
I
the
got
subject.
goosebumps.
I'm getting emotional thinking about my dad right
Yeah.
now. So let's.
Where do you see AI going in the future?
You know, this is going to sound really scary for a lot of people, but it's like I've seen the whole evolution from where it was in the 80s to now.
Yeah.
A lot of it is fundamentally the same. Basically the same, algorithms are there. It's just gotten faster and smoother. But because of how far it's evolved, most of what you do today as work, like what you think is work, between the combination of artificial intelligence and 3D printing, right, and new energy sources, right, there's no work left to do.
Whoa.
Right. Work is what you think is work today is not work anymore. Right. The work that's going to be left to do is creative work, thinking work. Right. Getting into meditation and seeing the multiple dimensions that are out there and tapping into that and then saying, okay, how do I apply this energy into making a better world? Okay, so the real work is going to be internal within you. Okay, and I don't think the world is ready for this. Right, and there's a fundamental change in society is about to happen. Right, and I know right now, like it's all in the news, like inflation, come out high. Last week the inflation numbers came out higher than expected. And everyone's worried about, okay, how long is this going to continue? My position on this is actually inflation is going to crash. It's going to crash hard as AI comes into place because it's going to build and create everything for us.
Wow. Let me ask you this. So everyone's saying move out of the United States because everything's falling apart.
Yep.
What are your thoughts around that?
Oh, no. Heck no. I love my U.S. passport. All right. U.S. is still the best place to be. It's simply because, and I'm going to say it's kind of controversial, but simply because it's got the biggest military by a factor of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right? And so why are you really, when you pay those taxes and you have that U.S. passport, what are you paying for? You're paying for that protection. Right? So, and it's still the freest country you could be in. Now we can talk about all the different reasons why it's not free. There's like 3 organizations, there's 3 companies, we'll stay nameless.
Yeah, let's
now.
not get sued.
Yeah. I mean, the 3 companies that basically own everything, Microsoft, Pfizer, JP Morgan, Apple, they're owned by a couple of companies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can say like our freedoms are getting chipped away because a handful of monopolists are trying to own everything.
Yep.
But still, on a relative basis, you still have more freedom here than anywhere else. Right. And there's enough freedom here where things like blockchain and crypto technology, where distributed finance, right, and the stuff that I'm doing, right, can actually get done. Like I put AI and blockchain together, so now we can actually create a financial delivery system that's free of the big banks. Okay, and at least it's free enough where they're not coming down and throwing me in prison.
Yeah.
Right, for building something like this.
I've had banks shut me down just for doing crypto transactions.
Yes.
Huge banks.
Wow.
Yeah, they're really against crypto.
Right.
So for you guys, you're both, very knowledgeable in the finance and crypto space. So crypto, is that an invest for Q4 or is that a, hey, let's move on to the next? In your
I'd love
opinion?
you to go first on that one.
Okay, well, I don't own any crypto. So I don't believe in the concept of a cryptocurrency.
Wow.
Okay, so I never invested in crypto, but I do love blockchain technology. So there's 2 different, blockchain technology is like the underlying tech that makes crypto possible. So I think financial transactions on blockchain technology, what it does is it disintermediates the banks. And if you look at the world today and you say, hey, there was a crisis in 2008, and before that it was the Asian currency crisis in the late 90s, and then now we're going through another banking crisis. We have so many banks that failed in the last 2 years with inflation, and then And then we had what's happening today happened in the 80s with home savings going down. Right? And every time there's a financial crisis, you know what happens is the banks that fail all get gobbled up by JP Morgan.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're getting more and more wealth concentration into the hands of the few, that the elites are controlling more and more. So it's almost like if you were to just look at the data facts, just look at history, and you'd say, hey, aren't these bubbles, on these booms and bubble bursts all result in one conclusion, which is a couple of big banks end up owning everything. Right? It's almost like I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist or something, but you look at it and it feels like, hey, you know what? Every time these things happen, a couple of big banks benefit.
Right.
Right. So why don't we take those powers away from those people? They can't stop us from using blockchain technology. Right? They didn't invent it. Vitalik invented, Satoshi's paper, and then Vitalik with Ethereum. I mean, these guys, these geniuses, created this ability for me and you to transact with each other securely without going through a bank.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what blockchain does. Right. So if I can avoid the banks and transact with each other, okay, then they can't stop us.
It's quicker. There's less fees.
Well, first, and then we're free of the elites. We're free of control, right? And that's what I like about cryptocurrency. That's the concept: is that, hey, you're free of the Federal Reserve System and so forth. But what I don't like about it is there's no nuclear weapons to protect your money.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Ultimately, with the stroke of the pen, the government can make it illegal. And they can track.
They did that in China.
Yeah, exactly. And they have enough computing power that they can mess up the chains. So they could, they can disrupt the miners and take it over if they wanted to.
Yeah, pros and cons to everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So if they really wanted to mess with you, they could. But that's why I say America is still the best place to be, because crypto is still allowed in America. They still let you do it. Right, they're not messing around with it. They're letting citizens be citizens. Right, they chip away at our freedom, but they haven't taken it away.
Wow.
Right, and there's still enough room for people. It's still a country where an immigrant can come to this country with $100 and build. I could build on my own a full AI company and a financial services company, right? And they're leaving me alone. Right. And I've actually built an AI that actually challenges the status quo, right? That you don't need the big banks anymore with this AI, and especially with AI and blockchain combined together. Right. So, and it's all private, right? They don't have any hooks in me. It's all my money.
Right.
Okay. So at least, hey, America, you could do that. I don't think you can do that in China.
No, definitely not.
Okay. So here's something that's really exciting that's coming on the verge. So it just went into quality control review, and then probably about a quarter afterwards. So we're thinking late summer. The next version of Angel AI, it's a very novel technology. We modeled the whole brain of Angel AI is modeled after biology. So it's modeled after cells coming together, human like brain cells coming together and talking to each other. So the next version, the AI is going to be able to create new brain cells on its own. Okay, so it's like robots creating robots in a way, but it's like micro robots, little. It's like the Iron Man suit with all these little nanobots come together and they build something collectively. So that's the next version of Angel AI. So what that means is, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier about life is becoming where there's very little work to do. So now, once that is complete, one engineer that right now I have like over 400 engineers that work for me that's building Angel AI. Now, one of them will be able to be as good as 100 engineers.
Wow.
Right? Because now all they have to do is direct how these cells are automatically generated and created and make sure we're going in the right direction. Right? So imagine that. Imagine one engineer doing the work of 100 engineers. And right? So this is one of the reasons the elites want to control AI. Right? And it's why Microsoft took over OpenAI's ChatGPT and why Elon Musk is suing Microsoft, because that was ChatGPT and OpenAI was a nonprofit. It basically belongs to the public.
Yeah.
How can a private organization take over a nonprofit's intellectual property? Right. So Elon Musk is suing. Okay. So I founded another nonprofit called InnovationConnect.ai. So I founded that nonprofit, and we're having many big name members joining this nonprofit, and we're actually filing an amicus brief. The nonprofit is filing an amicus brief supporting Elon Musk in that lawsuit.
Wow.
Right? Because we want to keep AI free. All these algorithms are almost all in the public domain. Okay, there's no reason why anyone can't just start an AI company. And now, if you think about what I just did, what I just explained, where a bot can create another bot, okay, and one engineer is now as good as 100 engineers. All right, that means anybody can create a massive company to solve big problems on their own.
Mm.
Wow.
All right, one engineer who understands AI can be as good as 100 engineers. I mean, they can create and solve big problems on their own. Right? And don't you want that freedom for everyone to do? Okay. All of us, that's what we want. But the mega corporations, the big tech companies, the big banks, they don't want that.
Mm.
Right? They want to control it all.
Right.
Right?
That
And
makes
it's
sense.
especially those three companies who remain nameless, who actually are the big investors behind all these other companies.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why it's important, and that's why I feel blessed that I had this background in finance and mathematics, so I can build this and not have to be dependent upon these other mega companies that could take the freedom away from everyone else.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see that come out. Pavan, it's been great getting to know you.
Yeah.
Anything you want to close off with or promote before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love for you, for you
Poker
all.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We're going to do a
yes.
little giveaway?
Yes, let's do a giveaway.
Yeah. So people have to follow you to enter, right? So we'll link
Yes.
your page.
Yes, yeah. So follow me on my Instagram is Pavan Agarwal _AI.
Okay.
It's a PAVNAGARWAL _AI.
Yeah.
That's my Instagram handle. And follow me and send me a DM with your name, phone number, email address. And if you're interested in poker, I will sponsor you for the was it
World Series of Poker?
World Series of Poker.
Yeah, that's coming
Right.
up, right?
Yeah, that's
Right.
coming up.
Right. And there's other poker.
Wow. How much is the entry fee for that?
10,000, right?
Yeah.
For the main event.
10 grand. You guys heard it here on the Sean
Yeah.
and Michael Kelly
And you
podcast.
got to wear an Angel AI shirt.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Yes, you got to be branded and you be branded with Angel AI all over, top to bottom, just like me. But it's a cool brand,
Yeah.
right? And so we'll sponsor you for poker, for the poker tournament. Second, if you go to askangel.ai and start chatting with her, and you can give her your financial information, and she can qualify you, give you advice, answer your questions. Now, one thing you do need to know about Angel AI, because she is always right. Right? She's what I call 100% trusted. You go to askangel.ai and give her your financial information, and she will tell you how much you qualify for. You can ask her financing questions, what this means, that means. One thing about her, because she's always right,
Mm-hmm.
okay, she sometimes may take a little longer to answer a question. So she doesn't necessarily come back like on that instance. It might take 30 seconds or a minute
Okay.
to come back to you with an answer. But when that happening, so it's what we call augmented intelligence. So it's humans and machine coming together.
Wow.
Okay, so the Air Force just came out with a paper, and they made a statement about 2 months ago that basically is that the future of artificial intelligence is human and machines working together. So in the battlefield,
That'd be cool.
Wow.
right? Because it's so there's still, that tells you how far away artificial intelligence has to go before it completely takes over everything. Okay, so with Angel AI, it's the same thing, because it's not the battlefield here is your finances, right? We want to make sure that it never gets it wrong. So when the confidence is low on what the AI has figured out, then a human gets involved and it adjusts the decisioning process.
Got it.
Right. So you can Google the term Google the term augmented intelligence. It's like a bleeding edge science in artificial intelligence is what we've developed.
That's cool. We'll link it all below. Thanks for coming on, Pavan. That was fun.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Pavan.
Bye bye.
Thanks for watching, guys. As always, we will see you next time.
See you guys.